Alright guys, so it's July 7th, Thursday. Of course, it was free Slurpee day at 7-Eleven. I just got back from 7-Eleven, waiting in line 45 minutes just for a small Slurpee, but I had nothing to do. But last minute, my dad wants to go see that new movie Cross, so we're going. Let's go.
Stay right there. I had some cookies in the oven before you came.
Alright guys, so before we move on to this review, I want to first of all apologize because there's a gap between my last video and this video. Of course, I think my last video was uploaded 2 weeks ago. The reason why I haven't been uploading recently is because first and foremost, there's nothing in theaters really aside from Spider-Man Far From Home, which I already seen twice already. And also, well, there was yesterday, which I did see, but I didn't care enough to review it because I'm currently in the process of moving to a new house right now, or I'm gonna start moving into the new house next week. So, I have that in the way of me reviewing movies, and of course, it's now kind of too late to review that movie. But if you guys are curious to, see what I think about that movie, I thought that Yesterday was overall another mediocre summer movie, and I just didn't really care enough for it, but it's okay. But anyways, we're not here to talk about Yesterday. We're here to talk about the new creature disaster movie, Crawl, which never really piqued my interest, if I'm being honest with you. The only reason why I did go out and see this movie in theaters last night was because my dad really wanted to go see this movie, and also because the movie has been getting pretty good word of mouth, surprisingly. At the time when I was walking into the theater for this movie had a 100% on Rotten Tomatoes, which meant that 100% of critics that reviewed the movie liked it, not necessarily meaning that the movie's a masterpiece, just that 100% of the critics that reviewed this movie liked the movie. Of course, now it's gone down to like an 80-something percent, but after seeing Crawl, the trailer did nothing for me. It didn't really pique my interest all that much, but with these reviews in the way, it really gave me hope for me hopefully enjoying this movie. And I was hoping for this movie to be something like The Meg was last year. The Meg was a extremely entertaining movie last year. Definitely a guilty pleasure movie. And Crawl, I don't really see where the positive word of mouth is. Now, I'm not saying that this is a bad movie necessarily, but I don't think it's that special of a movie. Of course, it's a low budgeted B movie. It's made on a low budget, but honestly, if you ask me, this movie could have been made especially for like the Sci-Fi Channel on TV, or it could have been straight to DVD for all that I care, because this movie really, I don't see how this movie got a theatrical release. If I'm being, aside from the main actress in this movie, Kea Scodelario, by the way, she did really a job. I did really enjoy her. I enjoyed the characters in this movie. The characters in this movie are actually quite good. Like, they're actually given like actual arcs in this movie, and like, the characters are set up quite well to the point where you're actually cheering for the characters through the runtime of the movie. But really, Crawl, it's not that fun of a movie, or it's not that special as it thinks it is, or clever as it thinks it is, my bad. But like the movie overall, it's just like really generic, and it's just kind of bland as well. The movie, I kind of felt like I was kind of bored for a good chunk of this movie. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm going to talk about some of the good things that I really like about this movie. Of course, I already told you guys that I do like the characters in this movie. I did care for them. They're very well set up and established in the first 15 to 20 minutes of this movie, and the movie does a really good job not just setting up the characters, but like setting up the actual scenario in the movie, which is pretty effective towards the audience viewer, if you ask me. And of course, the last 15 minutes of this movie was all given away in trailers. And it really, you've seen the best moments of this movie if you've seen the trailer. But overall, I think that those are the best things that this movie has going for. And that, and I think another thing that this movie does really well is that it puts you in these characters' shoes. It puts you in this situation. Like, most of this movie is spent underneath this storage in this house, of course, with these characters surrounded by alligator or crocodiles. And it does a really good job putting you in this tight space where there isn't any room to move, because it's a very tight and small space, and you see why the characters are struggling, and you kind of struggle with them, which I think is a movie that I think is the thing that this movie does really well. It puts you in this situation with these characters, and you're just thinking, okay, what would I do in this situation? The movie does a pretty good job at doing that. So to its credit, I thought that was really well in this movie. But if I'm being honest with you, what really didn't work for me in this movie was everything in the middle of this movie. Like, of course, I liked the beginning of the movie and I liked the finale of the movie, but everything in the middle is just bland and it's stale and it's very generic. And it's just like a very generic survival movie with these characters basically just stranded underneath a house. And there really isn't much to it. There's not much, meat to this story, if you ask me. Of course, there just isn't enough to warrant like a theatrical feature-length film, if you ask me. Now, the movie comes in underneath an hour and a half. The movie is like an hour and 28 minutes long. So and that includes credits, by the way. So the actual movie is like an hour and 20 minutes long, which is the perfect runtime if the movie actually established its concept in the right way. Because in my opinion, I don't really think that the concept was I didn't think that the concept was actually used very well in this movie. Like, the movie overall, I felt like the movie was a missed opportunity, because overall the movie just felt, again, bland. That's the best way I could describe this movie. It's not a bad movie. It's not as fun or as good as critics are saying it is, but it's harmless. Just like every other summer movie that has been coming out that also has been quite mediocre. So overall, if you ask me, I can't recommend a matinee for this movie, but I would recommend you guys to watch this movie when it comes to Redbox or Netflix. So with that being said, I'm going to give Craw a C. I think if this movie was a little less serious, I would have gave it that slightly positive review over this neutral review that I gave it. But overall, at least the crocodile kills were pretty cool in this movie, but they've all been shown in trailers, so that's kind of disappointing. Another example of Hollywood showing way too much of the movie in the trailer. But anyways, have you guys seen Craw? If you guys seen it, what did you guys think about it? Tell me in the comment section down below. As always, thanks so much for watching. Please like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys later.